Texans, Colts, week 1 in Indianapolis. It is almost here. Who better ball for each team if they want to take home the victory? It's not your stars. It's a player that's got to play a very specific role that's going to ball out, that needs to ball out if each team wants to win. I'll tell you about it, powered by my friends at BetUS, who are offering you a 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. All you need to do, use the code YouTube150, all one word, YouTube150, and you'll get that 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Here's how Who Better Ball work. We're going to give you 4 players, 2 Colts, 2 Texans, and it's not a star. It's not CJ Stroud or Stefon Diggs, Jonathan Taylor, or Anthony Richardson, not like that, okay? It's going to be a player that plays a very specific role for the team that has to go out there and have success on Sunday if that team wants to win. I'll start with a Texans player. Jalen Pitre is a fascinating player in this matchup. Petre's playing a brand new position. Well, not brand new to him. He did it at Baylor where he was all over the field, and it felt like there were 2 Jalen Pitres on the field sometimes. My old radio co-host Brad Kellner used to say when he was at Baylor. And he did a little bit of that his rookie year. Last year, not so good at the safety spot, but the Texans have walked him down to the line of scrimmage, trust him to be their slot cornerback, nickel cornerback, star, whatever you want to call the position. They trust Pitre. And that position is twofold in this matchup against the Colts. One, the Colts love the quick passing game. The slot cornerback has to go in there and affect the quick passing game. He's got to be on his P's and Q's when it comes to coverage. They like to get the ball out fast in Indianapolis, and if Jalen Pitre makes the right decision, that ball might just get out into his hands, and he can make a big, huge impact play from that slot cornerback spot. The other aspect of Petre's job on Sunday is he's got to be a run support guy. He's got to go in there and help out on Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson when they take off. You saw it in the preseason game against the Giants, how Pitre can get in there and affect the opponent's rushing attack. He's got to do that again on Sunday if the Texans have designs on taking care of business and walking out of week 1 with a victory. Now, his very same position is where I'm going for the first Colts player in Who Better Ball. This is Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore is one of the better slot cornerbacks in football, and I feel bad for Kenny Moore. I do not envy the position that he is in on Sunday. Stefon Diggs should play a lot in the slot for the Houston Texans, and Bobby Slowick, with the way that he works his offense and the matchups that he can create, if Kenny Moore doesn't have a good day, the Colts have no chance. He has got to have a good day and affect the game. He's got to be on Stefon Diggs and really slow down the guy who played the best on offense throughout training camp for the Houston Texans. When the Texans give him a matchup of, say, Dalton Schultz or Brevin Jordan, he's got to be in there and be ready for the physicality of a tight end should he match up on them. Moore is a really good player for the Colts. He's the only defensive back that actually scares me on that Colts roster just a little bit, or that I feel like could drastically affect the game. And if he's not good, the Colts have basically no chance to slow the Texans down, because if the Texans can win over the middle from the slot with Stefon Diggs, it's going to open up Nico Collins and Tank Dell down the sidelines and make it very difficult for Indianapolis to stop or slow down this Texans passing attack. So Kenny Moore on the inside, not as much of a run helper as Jalen Pitre is for the Texans in that position, but still a very important piece to this Colts defense and one of the most important pieces in slowing down the Texans passing attack. Something that's not slowing down, the hype train for the Houston Texans. They're on the road, and they are favorites against the Indianapolis Colts, 3-point favorites, and you get even money when you make that wager at BetUS. And when you use the code YouTube150, you're going to get that 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Even money on a 3-point favorite for the Texans. Do you believe they're going to win like I do, which I believe they're going to win by about 10 points? 3 points and even money is too good to pass up, and you can find it right there with my friends at BetUS. I got the bet in there. It is that easy. And again, YouTube150. YouTube150 is the code to get that 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Two more players, one on the Texans, one on the Colts to help decide who's going to win this game. Who better ball for the Houston Texans? This one I'm cheating a little bit. Not just a player, it's actually a group of players. The interior offensive line of the Texans could absolutely decide this matchup. Jack Mason, Juice Scruggs, and Kenyon Green have a tough task in front of them. Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner, along with Zaire Franklin, they are the key pieces to that Colts front seven that are really, really tough. And if the interior offensive line is not doing their job in the run blocking and the pass blocking, the Texans could fall apart in a hurry. I like the matchup for Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard out there on the edge against the Colts edge rushers, but on the interior, I'm a little worried. If Mario Edwards and Foley Fadukasi can have the success in training camp practices that they did against the interior offensive line, man, DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart certainly scare me a little bit if I'm the Houston Texans. Green, Mason, and Scruggs have got to be solid. I trust CJ Stroud's ability to maneuver in the pocket, but if the pocket's collapsing on him, doesn't matter how good he is with messy pockets if Juice Scruggs is sitting in his lap because DeForest Buckner has pushed him right in to CJ Stroud. There's nothing Stroud can do to maneuver and manage that. And then when it comes to the rushing attacks, look, you can go outside, you can attack those edge defenders. At some point, you're going to have to go up the gut, and that's going to be Mason, Scruggs, and Green. They've got to be able to move some earth in Indianapolis and open some things up for Joe Mixon and this Texans rushing attack. The rushing attack last year, bad for the Texans. 22nd in yards per game, 29th in yards per carry, 31st in first downs via rush. It was not good. It's got to be much better on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. And those three interior offensive linemen have got to be excellent. Got to be excellent in the game if the Texans want to take care of business like they need to take care of business. Finally, in who better ball, Adonai Mitchell, the rookie wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. And it's not often that I would put a rookie in a who better ball category, and certainly not a second round pick, but Mitchell going against the Houston Texans, he goes by Mo City Mitch. He's from the area. He's got to be at least a little upset that a former teammate of his ended up on the Texans, Kamari Lassiter, and he didn't. There's got to be just a little bit, got to be a little extra for Adonai Mitchell in this one, but his role on the Colts is actually really important in this matchup. Mitchell is probably going to be in the slot a lot. I mentioned that quick passing game that Jalen Pitre has got to go out there and stop. Well, it's Adonai Mitchell that he's got to go out there and stop in that quick passing game. The Colts love to get rid of the football fast. They would be going to Josh Downs a lot in this matchup, but Downs is not going to play. He's hurt right now, and that has hurt the potential for the Indianapolis Colts. In comes Adonai Mitchell, one of the more talented wide receivers in this draft class. I like him better than a ton of the guys that were drafted in front of him, and he's on the Colts. He's a dangerous player. He doesn't have a ton of experience in the slot, so he's had to learn quick on the go to figure this thing out and help out the Colts in a precarious position, but he can win on the outside as well. I would expect that he gets a matchup against his former teammate, Kamari Lassiter. Okay, I would expect that that shows up at some point when Adonai Mitchell and Lassiter match up on the outside, but we're going to see Mitchell on the inside as well. If he can win from the slot, that's going to help the Colts a ton. And if he wins down the field on the outside, Anthony Richardson loves to throw the deep ball. He likes to go short. He likes to go long. That intermediate stuff, not for him. But if Mitchell's winning short, Mitchell's winning long, and Richardson's finding him, it'll be a long day for the Texans defense. That is a guy the Colts might lean on from day one, even though he is a rookie player for the Colts and a rookie in his first season and first game action in the NFL. Colts have no other choice. You got to lean on a guy like that. He's super talented, and he could be a big difference maker for the Colts. Is there a player that you feel like better ball? Who better ball? Let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, it can't be a star player, can't be a stud off of one of these teams. It's got to be kind of a role player or just below star player. When you fill that out in the comment section, let me know and think about that, about what type of player is going to be there on your who better ball list. And if you want to cheat a little bit like I did with the interior offensive line, be my guest. Be my guest. Also, be my guest of my friends at BetUS and use that code YouTube150 to get that 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Don't miss out on that from my friends at BetUS. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Game time's almost here. Can't wait to talk about it after the game. Can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.